My son has autism. I have 3 boys, and my middle son has autism. Prior to adolescence, he was relatively mild in behavior. He didn't have any behaviorals. And then when adolescence came upon him, adolescence was not good to Bradley. He had a lot of OCD issues to the point that he couldn't take the bus, the van, to school or home because it would take a long time. And I was at my wit's end.
When working with kids with autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders, a lot of times their experience with other providers is that there isn't much of an experience. They may have answered questions and the provider is trying to diagnose based on those questions that they've answered. I've had people come in where their child was never formally diagnosed because they were considered borderline for all of the disorders.
When I met Dana, the way that I met her is in desperation. On Christmas break, I went to a local gym because I thought maybe exercise would help, and they referred me to Dr. Dana. So the very first visit, I was very protective of Bradley, and I was telling Dr. Dana how to do her job, and very quickly I could tell that she had an instinct and intuitiveness of knowing how to handle Bradley. A lot of people deal with people with autism or children with autism like they're somebody different, not Dr. Dana. She, treated him like he was a normal person, which he is, and her expectations were high, and he never let her down. He lived up to every single expectation that she put on him, and it was a great thing.
When a child comes to see me, the parents can expect to sit down so I can get a full understanding of what their life looks like and what their goals are for their child, and even what the child's goals are for themselves. Following that, we'll do an examination. There's 2 parts to the examination. One is looking at normal reflexes and normal occurrences that happen within the nervous system that help to give me an idea of imbalances that may be occurring. The second portion is the biofeedback portion that is done through interactive metronome. I then put the information together in order to help to put together a program that's specific to their child and their goals.
Nobody had dealt with Bradley the way she did, and we've had a long history within, we did a course of, I'm trying to think, a course of like 21 sessions, and it helped his OCD unbelievable, to the point when he went back to school, they were like, what happened? What did you do? To this day, it's been 4 years, a little bit longer than 4 years, and if his behaviors start up again, I start doing interactive metronome, and it kind of puts it back in balance. The thing that I thought was very interesting is through working with the brain, kind of exercising the brain, it literally affected things that I would not expect it to affect. It helped his attention, it helped his ability to interact with people, and one of the big things, it helped his self-esteem. He just began to open up, his personality came out, which with autism is huge. My biggest goal in life is never to underestimate my children, not only Bradley, but all my children, and try to have them strive to the highest potential. And with Dr. Dana and working with interactive metronome, I found myself, I had to step back because she had higher expectations than I did. And Bradley met those expectations. And it taught me that, I was being too protective of him. I wanted him to succeed, so I wanted to set goals that I knew he could achieve. It was very interesting and exciting at how fast Bradley progressed. Our very, very first session was in a confined room with no distractions, and he was doing very simple movements to the metronome. Within, I would say, a week, we were out in the gym in public. Bradley was able to focus, be a part of the gym environment, and the movements got more complex to only doing one-step movements. We were doing two-step movements. His self-esteem just went over the, I mean, he just opened up. He had, he started believing in himself. He started expecting, his expectations of himself started to be greater. And as a parent, there's nothing better in life. The other nice thing about dealing with Dr. Dana is that Bradley was her patient, and I was too. I mean, she had to teach me to deal with Bradley in a different way. And Dr. Dana's approach, most doctors, as soon as you walk into an office, oh, this child has autism or this person has autism, their whole demeanor changes. They don't look at Bradley and talk to Bradley, they talk to me, the parent. Dr. Dana wasn't like that. It was, Bradley, you're going to listen to me, and this is what we're going to do, and you need to look at me, you need to understand that. That's huge, because Bradley didn't let us down. Bradley responded to that. And not only Bradley, but I saw other children. I had the opportunity of working with her in a summer program where she had done interactive metronome and some other neurotherapies. And all of the children in that program were treated with respect, with high expectations, and they all responded to it, and it was a great thing. Our quality of life changed dramatically, and Bradley's quality of life definitely improved. He became more himself. He was able to articulate himself. One time I went into his room, and normally he would say just 5 minutes, whether he had a cold or whether he wasn't feeling good. You never really knew. And after working with Dr. Dana, I came into the room one day and he said, you know, just 5 minutes. And I'm so used to him saying that. I'm like, Brad, we got to go to school. And he's like, Mom, I don't feel well. And it was just unbelievable that he was able to articulate himself for the first time. I didn't have to decipher it. I didn't have to try to figure it out and guess what he wanted. Another time, we live right by a baseball field, and he didn't tell me where he was going, so it was kind of scary. But when we did find him, there he was sitting watching a baseball game with our neighbors and being social, which he never had done. After going to Dr. Dana, I had higher expectations, and me having higher expectations and putting those expectations on Bradley helped him. It improved his life. He became happier, he felt better about himself, and he became a different person. He was able to express himself more. He wanted to express himself. Prior to Dr. Dana, you know, he kind of just was in this world of complacency. The best thing is the change to our life. Prior to going to Dr. Dana, our life, it was a nightmare. Dr. Dana and the therapy and her approach and how she has taught me to deal with Bradley has changed our lives dramatically.